Okay, I'll say something about reincarnation and C. Generajadasa. Now, C. Generajadasa was the president of the Adyar-based Theosophical Society from 1945 till his death in 1953, and he died in the United States. Now, he arranged to die in the United States. He was actually a Sri Lankan because he wished to be reincarnated there. I have also heard that Jiddu Krishnamurti also arranged to die in the United States in order to be reincarnated there. Now, I think as Theosophists we would all agree there are many factors influencing the circumstances of rebirth in the cycle of death and rebirth. And how tenable is the idea of dying in a particular country or arranging to die in a particular country in determining that you will be reborn in that country? But the first thing I would say, that in determining where you're going to be reborn, the location of rebirth, the location of your death is not enough. I don't think that really is a determining factor. It might have a slight influence. I had a relative who died on holiday in Spain. Did that mean he would be reincarnated in Spain? Possibly, but I don't think that would be a determining factor in the location of his reincarnation. I think you need more than that, and the first thing that you need is the intention during physical life. No point in waiting till after you're dead. You've got to do it while you're still alive. That you intend to come back in a particular country for whatever reasons you have. Beyond that, I think you also need to resonate with that country. You need to have sort of like good business reasons for coming back in that country, good reasons, or good spiritual reasons, or whatever. Good reasons for coming back in that country. And that would suggest that you don't actually need to be in the country at the time of your death if you resonate with that country. But there has to be the intention, wherever you are on the planet, there has to be that intention. Now, I think that those are factors that influence cycle of death and circumstances of rebirth, location of rebirth. But I think you need to go a little bit beyond that, because before rebirth, our higher self decides or chooses the best life available for what we need to learn. And I think for the majority of us, and let's remember that Generajadasa and Krishnamurti were spiritually very advanced, but for the majority of us, that is probably the overriding factor that will override where you want to be reborn and preferences, that sort of thing. I think just override it. But a very interesting experience I had about 15 years ago. I went to a past life regression evening, and it was in Cardiff down at the parade, and it was hypnotic regression, which I'm a little bit wary of. Anyway, there were I wasn't regressing myself, and there were plenty of volunteers. There were about 6 people were regressed, and all of them recalled past lives that were in Britain over the last few hundred years. And I wondered, the cycle of death and rebirth, whether there is something to do with resonating with a particular culture or a particular country. I would have expected that in a past life regression we've had a spread of different experiences from different cultures. We've had a Mongolian milkman, possibly a Brazilian or Chinese, Indian, or whatever from around the planet. But no, we had 6 people regressed, and all 6 of them recalled past lives in Britain. That doesn't mean to say they were their only past lives, or it may have been that you just resonate with past lives in sort of a familiar culture. So perhaps English was the language or something within your own history in this life, that you resonate with that, and that's why you recall it more easily. That's a possible explanation, that they'd all led other past lives, but the ones that were easily recallable were the ones in the same tradition, in the same culture. I don't think if you want to be born in another country, just going and being there when you die is actually going to make that much difference. You need to, I think you need to work at it. You need to resonate with the country. You need to have a firm intention to return in that country, and that may be enough to swing it for you.